welcome to Your Beauty Fuel with Rita Catolino. I love myself a good party, but even more than that, I love to throw a good party. And don't let me fool you, my parties are not full of jalapeno poppers, bags of chips, beer, and deep fried goodness. They used to be, but now they're full of beauty-fueled food that still lets me get up Sunday morning without feeling like I've had a sugar overload. So on today's episode, I have a really special guest who is going to help me prep things in the kitchen and hopefully help you for your next cocktail party. Welcome back to the Beauty Fuel Kitchen. I actually owe a lot of my tantalizing taste buds or culinary background to my very own mother, who taught me from a very young age how to roll out homemade pasta. And so I'd love to introduce you today to Gabriela, Catolino, my mother.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And I talked in the beginning a little bit how much we like to party, and our whole family loves to do that. And I didn't mean to downsize the jalapeno poppers and the deep fried goodness, but that was how we were raised in the 80s. I mean, we took out the boxes of quiche and we did that. We threw out the spread.
Cheeses
And we had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
And we felt like crap the next day.
We did.
So we don't want to do that anymore. And we do entertain so much that we thought it'd be really good to share our secrets with everybody out there and show, you know what, you can still have a great time, have people at your house, enjoy the food, and not feel like crap the next day. Get up at 7 and get your butt to yoga.
Yeah, that's right. That's my new routine.
Right. So that's a whole other show. We're going to show you a few things today that we like to do, but we're also going to show and talk a little bit about presentation. Because presentation is very important. Things we like to do on a modern table setting is to throw in a lot of different looks. So woods and crystals and whites, and throw it all up because it makes the food look more beautiful.
More beautiful.
What do you think?
You eat first with your eyes, and so it's got to look good first before you even begin the tasting.
So there's things that we pick up at, this is from the antique store down the street, $5. It's an old mirror. Make sure you clean it up really well. Things like this show really well when we're presenting things. We'll show you that a little bit later. Things like spoons. So let's talk a little bit about vessels. Everybody likes bread, crackers, deep fried goodness to put some kind of filling in.
That's right.
What about if you had just that filling, which is sometimes really good, like a shrimp or chicken or a scallop or a vegetable? What if you had a non-edible?
Or a meatball.
Or a meatball. You want to do some meatballs today?
Yeah, I'd love to do some meatballs today.
So these spoons are great for things like that. Little cups, different skewers. So let's just get right into it, okay? You want to start with the meatballs?
Let's start with the meatballs.
Okay.
So my meatballs used to be beef, pork, Parmesan cheese, and
Lots
loads of it. Breadcrumbs, eggs, and a whole lot
Not
of goodness.
gluten-free, eh? Those regular old breadcrumbs,
Yeah.
eggs, cheese.
Rita, you know what? You're my inspiration, and so I've changed. And so the meatballs we're showing you today are going to be healthy meatballs. And so if you talk about the ingredients,
Then you can show you your tricks.
yeah.
So we're using bison meat today. So bison is a really great meat. It's high protein, lower fat, gives an amazing flavor. So you don't need to add all the pork and everything, which tends to be a fattier cut of meat. And instead of our typical breadcrumbs, because if you think about it, the breadcrumbs, their only purpose is to bind. So if you have a different binding agent, and we're going to use this great almond meal, and all this ground almonds from Hope Farms, from Pioneer Mills. This is an amazing local place. I love their stuff. And if you're allergic to nuts, then go ahead and you can use some flaxseed. If you don't like flaxseed, you can use coconut flour, anything that's going to be dry and binding. We're also going to add something called flaked nutritional yeast. Some people have heard of this. And what does it smell like to you?
Parmesan cheese.
Smells like Parmesan cheese. And all this is a nutritional yeast product. So that is going to give that flavor, and it's also going to bind the meatballs. Then we're going to add an egg, because eggs are great, and some seasoning. And if you'd missed the first episode of Your Beauty Fuel, we talked about the fiber from the juicer in the back. Instead of throwing it out, throwing it in the meatballs.
That's right.
Okay, so we add it all together, and then what?
We have. And so really, all you do is take, as you would, a little bit of your meat and roll it into balls. And you can use this in many ways. You can put it in the oven and have just the kind of meatloaf meatballs. But we, being Italians, love to have it with our tomato sauce. So I made my sauce ahead of time, and we threw in...
Pull it on over here, Gabby.
We threw in our pre-made meatballs into
So there's no
the
need for
sauce.
frying or anything like that?
No frying. No, you just, actually the trick is to get the your tomato sauce boiling, and then you drop your meatballs in as it's boiling, and they don't break that way.
I mean, you guys can't smell, thank God, but this reminds me of growing up as a kid. So the flavor profiles, the smells, the tomato sauce without the pasta, which is fine, because at the end of the day, sometimes it's not that pasta that you're missing, it's the smell, the flavor, the comfort. So this reminds me of growing up on Sunday morning, listening to Italian soccer on the TV. But it's an amazing, delicious party food. Different ways you can do these are on the spoon, or I like to do them on a skewer. And once again, we said presentation is key. So instead of doing a big bowl full of meatballs, which I've seen many times, which is fine, don't get me wrong, if you have a nice presentation of these meatballs on a plate, then people are going to be more apt to take them. And when you think about design, you think in odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, and that's the way I like to plate my food, in 1s, 3s, 5s, etc. So if you had a bunch of different, thank you, Mamma Mia. If you had a bunch of different plates out, different sizes, different things, and you could just, these are really cool skewers that you can get at the Asian market, very inexpensive, but all of a sudden they make the those traditional Italian meatballs look a little bit more avant-garde, shishi poo poo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Good. So that's down easy. That's something you can do ahead.
Yep.
So if your guests are coming, you do the next.
Warm it up, even
Yep.
the day before.
The day before, done. Okay, something else. How good does that look? I could eat that right now. These are just roasted veggies.
Yep.
Yeah?
And whatever I had in the house, in the oven.
Right, so you don't even think about it.
No, no.
Okay, I love it. What can we do with these? Because if I saw that bowl on a table at a party, I would probably say, pass. Right? But I forgot something in here. Talk a little bit about how you did those exactly, even though we'll put the recipe up.
So actually sprayed some olive oil on the vegetables on a baking sheet in the oven, 450 degrees, just for about 10 minutes or so. Flip them and until they're roasted, really.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
These are little forks that I get at the dollar store too. They're really fun. So I personally, what I would do is I would fill up a little, one of these little shot glasses with these beautiful veggies. Why don't you grab one of our beautiful balsamics back there from Olive and Meat Company? I think the peach would go really well with these vegetables.
There you go.
Okay, let's drizzle a little on there, Gabby.
Peach flavored balsamic.
Yeah. Beautiful. You add the little fork in as is, and people are okay to grab their glass of wine and hold this at the same time. So another really easy thing, really nicely put out on there. Okay, something else really easy. Can I show you one of mine now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm always willing to learn.
This is super easy. Okay, cucumber. How do you make this cucumber look a little prettier? Well, we're going to take off the green, but we're going to skip an inch or so. So then when we cut it, it's going to look really pretty. And as you said, we eat with our eyes first, right? How do we make a cucumber disc a little bigger? Because this is going to be the bed. We go on an angle, right? I might be speaking Mickey Mouse to some of you, but some people don't think about these things, right? So we have these beautiful discs that all of a sudden have more of a dimension to them by doing that with the green. So putting it out on a really nice plate, once again, remember I said 1 3s or 5s because I'm weird like that. So that's going to be 5 on a plate, okay? And once again, I would take a bunch of these plates and line them up so it would look like one big plate, but it gives a little bit more interest. So we're going to add some smoked salmon. I always have smoked salmon packages in the freezer ready to go. They thaw within, 2 minutes. So it's one of those things, guests pop over and I thaw it under hot water and it's ready to go. Smoked salmon is just great, right? So we're going to just do a little bit on top of our cucumber. You know what you want to grab out of the fridge for me is probably some of the fish roe and the ginger. That would be great. Oh, how the tables have turned. She used to tell me what to do. Now I'm telling her what to do.
That's right.
Okay, so far uneventful, but it's going to get even better. So the ginger is going to add a really nice flavor to this as well. I'm going to get it.
Thank you, which I can't locate.
Ginger, ginger, where are you? And don't you love live TV? We're going to take out some of this ginger. Ginger gives another nice little flavor to that. We're going to add some ginger. And you know what? There's no right or wrong here. You don't like ginger, don't add it. You like wasabi? Add a little bit of wasabi on there. You like a little bit of heat. I'm going to grab a spoon out of here. And we're going to simply add a little bit of the fish roe, just like that. I mean, we're not teaching you guys rocket science over here. What we're doing is saying, think outside of the box when people come over. Instead of opening a bag of chips and popping in some quiche in the oven, think outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Good, we got a few things down. I want you to tell me about your nuts, because every time I come over, I love your nuts. Yeah, okay, let's get on the G-rated program here. Nuts.
Yeah. So this is a really simple recipe. It's just nuts, a variety of nuts. And
I gotta try these.
You have to try them.
Walnuts I see in here. Pecans and almonds.
Right, or pecans would be nice as well. And it's just, again, a spray of olive oil so it doesn't stick on your roasting pan, some maple syrup, some jalapeno pepper, and or heat of some sort, and then basically toss in the oven and roast.
You know what I love about this is they're spicy and they're sweet at the same time, but they're not packing all that sugar and calories and processed food that you would on the typical beer nuts that you see.
That's right, not candied.
No, exactly. I bet you want to know how to serve these because, in a bowl with people's hands going in them is kind of unhygienic, even if you're with, your uncle over there who just blew his nose anyway. So we're going to show you, coming up after this break, we're going to show you a little bit more about these nuts, how to serve them, and a few other cocktail ideas.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Welcome back. We were talking about nuts,
We were.
the kind you eat. And because it can get pretty fun in our kitchen, can't it?
Yeah, it can.
sometimes?
It can. Especially, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
when we take out the wine. But these are great. So I make these, and actually I made these so long ago. I think I've kept them for about 8 years now because they're easy.
Aren't they fun?
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're just paper cones. And the great thing I like about these, once again, is just you're going to add in your nuts in here. And as the night goes on and people like to drink a little too much water, they tend to get picky, you know, at the end of the night. And so these are great because people will grab these cones and they eat their nuts, but you're not, you know, throwing your hand in the nut bowl with everybody else. I kind of like them. And this was my mom's idea, which is a cupcake stand from my daughter's birthday. And just throw these in there like that. And you have this really cool kind of, not only is it eye appealing, but tastes good, practical, and hygienic. All right, let's keep going. Another easy peasy thing to pull out that I always have are dates. Nature's sugar, nature's candy. I love dates. Dates go really well with cheese. So if you're into goat cheese, which is a really great thing to do, you can stuff those with goat cheese. It's a naturally lower fat percentage cheese. We're gonna take these raw nuts and we're just gonna fill it like that. So it looks really pretty. And then you have the texture, the bite of the nut with the creaminess and sugariness of the date. And you can throw those all in a line on a little white plate, or we can just put them in spoons. And once again, another really, really pretty little, thank you, really pretty little thing to add to the table. They'd look really pretty on the mirror, kind of all fanned out, don't you think, Mom?
I like that.
Okay, from there.
One more.
Okay, one more. From there, another thing that I like to do is pre-make soup. So this is a butternut squash soup. Okay, you can do these ahead of time in your mason jar in the fridge. I make gazpachos, cold